I felt like starting off this new decade of my life by reflecting and sharing 30 lessons I've learned and continue on learning every single day. Lessons that help become more self aware of ourselves, others, the earth, and the universe at large. Being self aware completely changes your perspective on life, on others, on your relationships, your thinking patterns, and so on. Self awareness is actually the first step which contributes to living more consciously. At least for me, just like any issue, first recognize the problem, then fix it. And that's what self awareness is for me. Just to, yeah, be aware of what's going on around you, but also inside you and how your inner world interacts with your outer world and vice versa. So this 30 lessons for 30 years old format was inspired by Brianna from the podcast Shadow Light. This is actually the very, very first podcast I've ever listened to. If you don't know it already, what have you been doing? I'll put the link in the episode show notes so you can check it out. Um, I probably won't get into each life experience that taught me each lesson. Otherwise, it would be an extra super long podcast episode. But let's get it on with the listing. Lesson number 1: love yourself. That's it. As simple as that. Even though in reality it can be up and down journey. It can be quite complex and difficult, but when we truly look at it, it's simple. Just love yourself. I invite you to check out episode 3 of Conscious Matters, which is all about self-love. Lesson number 2: don't be too hard on yourself. Be gentle. Treat yourself like you would treat a child or your best friend. Then it goes with lesson number 1, but I think it's a good continuation of showing love and care and gentleness to yourself. The world is already super hard. So 2020 has shown us that. So let's bring a little bit more sweetness into our lives with ourselves first. Lesson number 3: understand that everyone is coming from a different walk of life. Your reality is not theirs, and their reality is not yours. And guess what? That's more than okay. Even if you feel like you're trying to lift them up, helping them out, etc., you can only advise them to improve themselves, but not push them too hard to do so. They have to understand some things from themselves. They are on their own journey. Advise, but don't get too involved. Lesson number 4: you're not for everyone, and that's awesome. Not everyone can match your energy, and is actually a gift, because then you will attract people who, air quotes, deserve you, instead of trying to fit everyone, every situation. um I know it's hard, like, especially in how we depends of how you've been raised, but I think for the majority, and in a social media era, we kind of all want approval or validation, um, from people, from achieving, from producing. But that is not what is best for your soul. So just embrace the fact that you're not for everyone. Um, yeah, that's it. Lesson number 5: don't give more to people in situation than what you're receiving. Energy should flow. It's a two-way street, or it's a cycle, whatever, but it has to move around, and what goes out must come back in. Lesson number 6: perfection is an illusion. As a recovering perfectionist, I've already talked about that on this podcast, but it is always a good reminder. Perfectionism actually holds you back from just trying, failing, and experiencing life. And talking about failing, lesson 7: it's okay to fail, is actually the best way to learn how to do better in the future. You do learn by making mistakes. And we all humans, so at some point we all gonna fail. Yeah, it's normal. It's actually normal to fail. Our culture should make failure the most normal thing ever, because, yeah, once again, we're human. We're gonna mess it up. Lesson 8: free your mind. Worrying is time consuming. What's meant to happen will happen either way, whether you're worrying about it or not. Just like the Invoke song, free your mind, the rest will follow. Lesson 9. It goes back to point 4 actually. And point 4 was about the fact that you're not for everyone, and that's awesome. Lesson 9 is about people pleasing. People pleasing robs you from being the amazing being that you are. You are perfectly made. Your only job is to embrace your true self and keep on bettering yourself every day. Only for you, not for anyone's sake, just yours. Lesson 10. People would judge you whether you do good or bad. So just do you. Do what makes you feel good. Be shameless. It always reminds me of the creative Shameless Maya, the way she was ending her videos all the time, saying, be you, do you, be shameless. And that completely sums it up. Lesson 11. Oh my God, this list is going to be long. Bear with me. Lesson 11. You are so much more than your upbringing. Go beyond your initial childhood conditioning. Don't hinder your personality traits to fit into the mold that has been created for you. It might have been useful then, but don't be afraid to outgrow this mold. Just be you. And it's actually the more you being yourself and not being afraid of people judging you, that you will be able to transcend your own limits. Lesson 12. Your worth is not attached to your work. Oh my God, this one speaks so much to me. So lesson 12, you're good enough whether you produce excellent or mediocre work. Your worth has nothing to do with what you put out there. Now I'm gonna end here for this one, for this lesson. Lesson 13, you don't need to prove your worth because you're already worthy. As simple as that. Lesson 14, enjoy your life. You here only for a temporary moment. I wish I could say that to my younger self. Enjoy your life a little bit more. Like it's not all about work, career, and trying to, yeah. We put so much pressure on ourselves. It's crazy. Yeah, just enjoy life. Life is cool. Make the best out of it. Lesson 15. We're halfway. Listen to your inner voice. Only you know yourself better than anyone else. You know what's good for you. And you, the one who knows best what's good for you. Lesson 16. Self-awareness. Realizing the issue. I actually said that in the intro. Okay, but let's count it as a lesson still. Realizing the issue is the first step to fix it. The more you dig, the more you can understand rooted issues. And we all have deep-rooted issues. Just realizing them and then peeling layer by layer and finding your way out of them. Lesson 17. There is no excuse for ignorance in this digital age. I insist on that. We have internet all over, on our phones, on our TVs, on our computers, even on our watches now, like connected watches or digital watches. I don't know how they called now, but like, Apple Watch and stuff like that. We have information on our fingertips all the time. So educate yourself as much as possible because knowledge is key. Knowledge is key and power. As a matter of fact, having knowledge helps understand others. At the end of the day, we're all different, but the more we learn about each other, the more people will not only be more tolerant, but also show more compassion towards one another because there will be this sense of understanding after having educated yourself on the matter or subject at hand. Lesson 18. Connect with nature. Nature has so much power. Once again, 2020. I mean, this year has been something. But when we see how being under lockdown or being more at home for countries which didn't have any lockdown set in place, we could all see how the air was less polluted, how the nature was flourishing, the animals going out. Yeah, I mean, Nature is incredible, and we should take advantage of it. Not okay, scratch that. Not advantage, because I think we're taking way too much advantage of nature, but you enjoy it while respecting it. Um, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that, but that was lesson 18. Lesson 19, as long as you're happy with who you are and how you go about your life, that's the most important. That's all that matters, truly. There's no need to look for anywhere else. Look inwards. If you're pleased with it, that's awesome. Keep on doing you. Lesson 20, find your why and go for it. I think I might be mistaken, but the reason why most people are not happy with their lives is mainly because they're just a little bit lost with their purpose, with their mission in life, or even though not necessarily like looking at this whole big thing as your life purpose or your life mission, but just where they are right now. They don't feel like what they do matters, and most of the time we don't listen to our inner self. So what we are actually doing in this world doesn't truly resonate with our inner desires. And once you find the why of why you're doing things in the first place, everything will be much simpler. Everything will make sense. And the journey, even if it's not going to be easy, will be much more enjoyable. I mean, that's how I feel, anyways, for myself. Lesson 21, overworking yourself is not a sign of success. I can't remember in which country this saying is said, but they associate overworking and having extra long hours at work as a sign of a lack of organization and rather than success or hardworking quality. I remember when I heard that the first time, that was very weird to me, like very abnormal to hear that, because in the society that I live in, we do encourage overworking. But it's completely true. If you cannot manage your time, like what are you doing? You're not organized. But it actually makes a lot of sense because it all ends up to time management. If you do what you do well and you manage your time well, there is no need to overwork yourself. Lesson 22, take time to process things before jumping into the next step or the next thing. It's okay to slow down, take downtime to readjust. You'll definitely avoid bursting out or even burning out in the long run. Just take your time. Life is not a race. It's actually, hopefully, if you live long, it's supposed to be a marathon. So keep your energy. Take your time. Lesson 23. I mean, it goes back once again to perfectionism. Okay. Yeah, that means that it speaks to me. Uh, Lesson 23, done is better than perfect. You cannot have it perfect all the time because you're human. So, once again, you're going to mess it up. So, don't beat yourself up. Just do it. And actually, practice makes it better. That's when you master a skill, is when you keep on practicing. So, just do it. It's not going to be perfect the first time. I mean, it can, but there is little chance it will be. So just do it. Go for it. Lesson 24, feel your emotions. It's okay to be vulnerable. Don't hide from your own feelings because you'll end up numb and cut yourself off from the good feelings too. We don't realize it, but when we hide from a feeling that might feel make you feel bad, such as grief or sadness, your I'm not sure that your brain process so well that it has to make the difference between the different emotions. So it ends up cutting all of the emotions. So you cut out happiness, joy, fulfillment, and all the feelings that make you feel good inside. So don't do that. It's not good. Lesson 25. Be present, be in the moment. It's not always about the next thing. Take a moment to appreciate where you are right now, then move on. It goes back a little bit to point 22 about take your time to process things. But here is more about being present in your thoughts, being present in your actions, being present with the people when you listen, actively listen. Don't necessarily think about the next thing you're going to say or you're going to respond with. Yeah, just be in the moment. Enjoy every little thing. Lesson 26. Keep your own power. Take it back from others. Don't give it to them. Be courageous enough to own it. Sometimes we don't realize it, but by trying to either be helpful or trying to fit or trying to achieve something, in the process, we might give our power to others with them taking decisions for us or listening to advice that don't even resonate. But since, I don't know, this person has the title we aiming to have in, I don't know, in 5-10 years, like we take the word as something perfect or something, yeah, something that that holds the truth, whereas as I said before, we know what's best for us. You already got the truth, so keep your own power and take it back if you if you gave it to others. Lesson 27, we're almost done. Lesson 27 is, dude, chill, have fun, don't take things so seriously. Yeah, we so serious all the time. Um, I mean, that's what I've been seeing around me since I was a kid. But maybe I've been hanging out with the wrong crowd. I don't know. But yeah, let's remind us that we are all kids in adults' bodies, if I can say. But no, to be more serious, like life is a big playground. It's just that the playground changed a little bit in adulthood, but still the same. Play. Lesson 28. A quote that I read, which I now always keep dear to my heart, is saying, you can be a good person with a good heart and a kind soul and still say no. So now I go by life, always reminding me, don't do anything that doesn't feel right or something that doesn't align with you. And at first, it feels a little bit, I mean, a lot weird. Like it feels weird a lot. It feels uncomfortable. The person you're gonna say no to without, you don't even have to give an explanation. Like at first, you might do just to make yourself a little bit more comfortable and the other person as well. But yeah, don't do, if saying yes to someone is actually making you uneasy in your own life, don't do it. Why making yourself uncomfortable to make someone else comfortable? It's something that we do way too often, especially with loved ones or colleagues in a workspace. Yeah, don't do that. It's bad. No, I'm kidding. You can do whatever you want, but that's one of the lessons I've learned that is truly helping me um, be have, first of all, have an easier life, and second of all, to feel more aligned with my own self. And I think it's very important when you feel true to yourself and honest with yourself, instead of doing something just to make the other person comfortable or to please others, and then resenting them unconsciously or consciously. This is not good for you. So I stopped doing that. Lesson 29. Be in a place of acceptance instead of expectation. That is actually a very recent lesson that I've learned. Yeah, we have so many expectations from situations, from parents, from friends, from lovers, from literally everything. But then again, you cannot control others. You cannot change what cannot be changed. You gotta let people do their own journey, and sometimes and most of the time it has nothing to do with you at all. So instead of being in a place of expectation and ending up being disappointed, I did find that being in a place of acceptance makes everything much easier. Because once you accept the situation as it is because you cannot change it, or you accept, I don't know, let's say your dad, you don't like one thing that he does all the time. Like, for example, he's not present enough for in your life, but he's not even present for himself, like, first of all. So how can you expect him to be present for you? If you accept it, your mind will be put at ease, your heart is gonna stop to ache, and once again, a life which will be much more smoother. And last but not least, lesson 30. We are all one. We are all connected, even though sometimes you look at some people and you hear what they're saying and you're like, no, I'm not connected to this person, but we all are. The concept of unity, of being, is something that I keep on digging in because, first of all, I truly do believe in it. And from a scientific standpoint, everything in the universe is the same big thing. It's the same thing. We all function with energy. Everything is energy, which is the base unit of physical existence. So if we realize that existence is composed of atoms, molecules, and so on, I'm not going to get into quantum physics here, but we all have at the base, so we have so many commonalities. We have more commonalities than differences. So, yeah, we are all connected to all creatures, and that includes human beings, animals, nature. Yeah, to me, multiplicity does exist in the world, but at the end of the day, we are all one. So when you hurt someone, you actually hurting yourself. And most of the time, when you look at the situations that you've been through, most of the time they are actually mirrors, and showing some aspect of yourself, some personality traits or some thinking patterns that you might like or not like, but which are yours, and they are being reflected on someone else or through someone else or by someone else. Yeah. So that was my list of 30 lessons. Feel free to message me with any that I did not mention here, that really made a positive impact in your life, or something that was having a negative impact and you decided to let go. Because yeah, one of the lesson also, I'm not gonna say lesson 31, but one big lesson is to let go. Let go. I like this quote, like, let go and let God. Yeah, because you're going to be provided with what you need in divine timing, anyways. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did not, it's okay because I'm doing me. So, yeah, I look forward to hearing more from your own lessons. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for listening to me once again. All of my rumblings. I hope you did manage to find a few gems in the 30 lessons and maybe apply some to your own life, or maybe you already applied many of them and they helped you be the best version of yourself, and that you keep on growing and evolving and making sure that your mind, soul, and body are aligned in everything you do and the way you interact with this world. Thank you for being you, and I'll talk to you soon.